China has completely rejected the new U.S. position on the South China Sea. The Chinese Foreign Ministry accused the U.S. of meddling in the region and driving a wedge between China and the ASEAN nations. Beijing also said that it had no intention of creating a maritime empire in the South China Sea. Listen in.
The history and the facts about the issues concerning the South China Sea, it breaches the U.S. government's open commitment to not taking a position on the sovereignty of the South China Sea. It violates and distorts international law, stirs up disputes of territorial and maritime disputes, disrupts regional peace and stability. It is very irresponsible. Frequently send large-scale advanced military vessels and aircraft to the South China Sea for militarization and for bullying and hegemonic practices. The U.S. is indeed a troublemaker that undermines regional peace and stability. Out of its selfish agenda, is doing all it can to stir up troubles in the South China Sea and drive a wedge between regional countries and China, aiming to disrupt China's and ASEAN countries' efforts to maintain peace and stability.
The United States and China are all set for a showdown over the contentious South China Sea. For the first time ever, Washington has outrightly rejected almost all of China's claims over the lucrative Pacific region. Now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo launched a scathing attack on China, calling China's claims a bullying campaign to control the smaller Southeast Asian nations in the region, and Pompeo described China's claims as completely unlawful. This represents a departure from the earlier U.S. position, which was to resolve the contentious and these issues via UN arbitration. Now, the U.S. itself does not have any claims over the region, but by rejecting China's claims, they have thrown their support behind 5 other countries in the region who have opposed China. Brunei, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines and Taiwan claim parts of the South China Sea. China, on its part, has claimed ownership of almost 90% of the region. The South China Sea is home to vast untapped energy resources. Maritime trade through this region accounts for nearly $3 trillion. The U.S. has accused China of running a campaign to undermine the sovereignty of smaller nations in the region and bully them off their offshore resources. Now, in his statement, Mike Pompeo said that China wants to assert unilateral dominion and replace international laws with might makes right. Washington has rejected China's claims over the Scarborough Reef and Spratly Islands. It has also recognized the Philippines' sovereignty over Mischief Reef, and China's claims over James Shoal have also been rejected. James Shoal, which lies just 50 miles off Malaysia and almost 1,000 miles off China, is often presented as China's southernmost point. Beijing has called U.S.'s new position unjustified. The Chinese embassy in Washington asked the U.S. government to not interfere in the South China Sea, as it is not a stakeholder. China urged the U.S. to not take sides in the dispute and accused Washington of trying to sabotage peace-building efforts in the region.